I recently met with Peter, Kate and Edward, who run Two Basil's Cafe in Tunbridge Wells, and they are a family who run 4 cafes across Kent. Family business is the subject of today's motion. And the honourable members here need to pipe down after the damage they did to the economy when they were in government. Now, I met them recently, and they told me that the combination of minimum wage, national insurance rises and business rates, and it's the combination of all three has got them on their knees. And the only thing that they can do, and bearing in mind that they are a family business, their staff are also their friends, and these are hubs in our community, but the only option that they have is to lay off staff, or in some cases in the future to not grow their employment in the way that they had planned. And if we zoom out a little bit, about a month ago I met with the Tunbridge Wells hospitality reps, and these are the owners of pubs, restaurants, hotels and bars in Tunbridge Wells. And most of those are small businesses. They're all small businesses, and most of them are family businesses. And as we went round the table, it's the same story from them as well. It's the combination of all three coming at the same time, which means that they are either looking at laying off staff now or delaying plans for future employment. I will give way.
I thank my honourable friend for giving way and for the excellent way in which he's setting out the problems faced by many family businesses in Tunbridge Wells. And for me in Mid-Sussex, I recently spoke to the owners of Frank's Diner on Church Road in Burgess Hill, and they said exactly what my honourable friend is saying, that it's that combination of different moves that they are finding punishingly hard, and they are worried that they're going to have to close their business if things don't improve soon and the government doesn't think again. So does my honourable friend agree with me that the government really does need to look again and needs to think harder about the impact that their decisions are having on small family businesses?
I thank my honourable friend for her intervention, and I think that this is not hyperbole. These are real stories from real businesses, and these are people who stay up at night trying to juggle a P&L or trying to look at how it is they are going to pay those national insurance contributions or how they're going to pay the business rates at the end of the month. These are real stories. But if I could just, and we don't have much time, I just want to zoom out a little bit and make a couple of points, and then I'd like to make an ask of the Minister. The first thing about hospitality is that many of us had our first jobs working in hospitality. My first job when I was 16 was as a dishwasher in a hotel. And of course the question is whether you would employ me now with these laws, or would you invest in equipment that could automate that dishwashing to a point where you don't need to employ so many 16-year-olds. And, you know, I came from a very relatively privileged background, but working in a hotel as a dishwasher or as a gardener and a labourer, all those other things I did when I was young, were incredibly important experiences in forming me into the person that I am now. So we do want these businesses to be able to employ people in their first jobs, because we only ever have one first boss. The second point, the second societal point that I would like to make, is that hospitality particularly sits in this ecosystem in our town centres. It's hospitality, it's retail, and it's leisure. And of course, one of those things will bring people into a town centre, and they will often then go and visit another business from one of the other 3 legs or corners of that triangle. And the hospitality in particular, as has been mentioned by people from both sides of the House, acts as a glue in our society. And one of the things that I have noticed since being elected last July is actually how atomised our society is. How many people, particularly after the pandemic, do struggle with that sense of belonging, and we are looking for communities to belong to. And hospitality, whether it's having a pint or meeting your mates for some chips or whatever it is, actually this provides some of the glue that holds us together. And if our societies are glued together better, all sorts of other things like antisocial behaviour order and crime and health, right? Social connection improves our health. All of those things get easier, and that of course costs the government less money on other budgetary lines. So I would just like to ask the Minister one thing, and I know that we've had this increase in business rates in the budgets, and I know that the Chancellor's not going to go back on the national insurance rises, and they're not going to go back on the minimum wage. But on the business rates, they have indicated that they are, there is currently a consultation out, and they are asking people to contribute to that. And what I would ask is that we don't just look at it from in the manner of a spreadsheet, as the Treasury often does. Although that is important, we must support those businesses financially. But we also have to understand that retail and hospitality and leisure in our town centres contribute to the glue that holds our society together. And we must, when we reform business rates, consider that as well.